All right, let's get right into it. When the United States military makes a big move, it's never just for show. It's sending a message. But what kind of message is it sending when it puts a 45,000-ton warship packed with Marines on a direct course for one of the most tense, most critical waterways on the entire planet? So what you're looking at right here is the USS Tripoli. She's the heart of what's called an amphibious ready group, and right now she's steaming toward the Middle East. Now, this isn't just some routine ship rotation. Nope. This is a very deliberate move, repositioning an incredibly powerful and flexible force right into a hotspot at a time when tensions are already running high. And that really gets us to the core question here, doesn't it? What is this message exactly, and why this force in this place right now? What can it actually do in a place as complicated as the Persian Gulf? To figure that out, we first have to break down the who, what, and where of this whole deployment. We need to look at the specific units involved and understand why just moving them is such a big signal. Okay, so the main player here is the 31st Marine Expeditionary Unit, or MEU. Now, what makes this MUU so important is that it's the only one that's permanently stationed overseas, ready to go. Its usual playground is the Western Pacific, so pulling it from that theater and sending it all the way to the Middle East, that is a big deal. It's moving with its whole naval group and should be there in about a week or two. And we're not talking about a small team either. This is a force of roughly 2,500 Marines and sailors. To put that in perspective, that's like a small, self-sufficient town that can fight. They have everything they need to handle a huge range of problems, from a massive disaster relief operation all the way to a targeted combat mission on shore. So what can this force actually do? Honestly, the best way to think about a Marine Expeditionary Unit is like a floating Swiss Army knife for the military. It is purpose-built for one thing: rapid crisis response. And what self-contained really means is that it brings its own party. It's got its own airplanes, its own ground troops, its own supplies, everything it needs. And it's all designed to launch an operation straight from the ocean without ever needing a friendly airport or a base on land. The real magic of the MEU is in its toolbox. I mean, look at this list. You've got top-of-the-line F-35B stealth fighters. You've got those incredible Osprey aircraft that are part plane, part helicopter. You've got amphibious tanks, artillery, you name it. This gives a commander an amazing menu of options. They can evacuate a city, seize a port, or even launch a surprise raid from the sea. And these images right here just perfectly capture that air power. On the left, that's the F-35B, a cutting-edge stealth fighter that can land like a helicopter. Just amazing. And on the right, the MV-22 Osprey, which gives them the speed to get somewhere fast and the ability to land just about anywhere. It's firepower and mobility, all in one package. Okay, so now we know what this Swiss Army knife can do. Let's look at where it's headed. We're talking about the Strait of Hormuz, an area that military thinkers literally describe as a strategic chessboard. You really can't overstate how important this little stretch of water is. It is the jugular vein for a huge chunk of the world's energy supply, and its geography, as you can see, makes it incredibly vulnerable. At its narrowest point, the whole strait is only 21 miles wide. That's it. Being that narrow means that any weapons, missiles, drones, whatever, placed on the coast or on those little islands can easily reach out and touch any ship trying to squeeze through. And if you want to control this waterway, it all comes down to controlling a few key pieces of land. Planners are focused on what they call a control triangle, 3 islands that are perfectly positioned to dominate those shipping lanes. Let's break down this triangle real quick. Abu Musa is smack in the middle. It's the perfect lookout post with missile coverage. Larak Island is like the gatekeeper at the eastern entrance. It can threaten ships before they even get into the tight spots. And then there's Qashm Island. That's the big one. It's the main base, the logistical hub for Iran's navy and its drone fleets. Put them all together and you have a web of threats covering the whole area. And here is Qashm Island from space. You can just see how huge it is and how it sits right alongside those shipping lanes. It is covered in little coves and inlets, perfect for hiding small, fast attack boats. And it's dotted with military bases. This island is the queen on the chessboard. But here's the thing. Controlling the strait isn't only about military targets. There's a whole other layer to this chess game, one that involves a completely different kind of pressure, economic pressure. So this is a really crucial distinction to understand. Going after the Hormuz Islands, that's a tactical military move. The goal is to control the waterway. But going after a place like Karg Island, which is way off to the side, well, that's a strategic, economic move. The goal there isn't to control ships, it's to cripple the entire financial foundation of Iran. This is Karg Island. It's not a fortress, it's Iran's economic heart. See all those huge white cylinders? Those are oil storage tanks. And those long piers are where massive supertankers line up to load Iranian oil to sell to the rest of the world. And these numbers are just staggering. Historically, somewhere between 80 and 90% of all of Iran's oil exports that travel by sea have flowed through this one single spot. If you disrupt Karg, you're not just disrupting shipping, you're disrupting the entire Iranian economy. You know, to really get what's happening now, we have to look back. The Persian Gulf has been a powder keg for decades, and the way things played out in the past can give us some major clues about what might happen today. History really does give us a playbook here. Back in the 80s, during the tanker war, the U.S. strategy was all about escorting ships. Before the 2003 Iraq War, it was about building up an absolutely overwhelming military force. And more recently, in 2019, the response was to build an international coalition. Each one of these is a different model for how this 31st MEU could be used. And this comparison is just fascinating. On the screen, you've got a modern naval escort mission right next to a photo from a similar mission back in the 1980s. It's just a powerful reminder that even though the ships and the tech change, the basic problem of keeping this waterway safe, that stays the same. This quote right here absolutely nails it. This is the key. This is what makes sending this specific force, the 31st MEU, so different. It gives commanders the option to stop playing defense at sea and start playing offense on land. They can proactively go ashore and remove a threat at its source. That changes the entire game. Which, of course, leaves us with a big, unanswered question. The pieces are moving on the board. A very capable, very flexible new piece is entering the game. So, in a place that has seen decades of tension, what is the next move on the chessboard?